Okay, so day 34 of culinary school. Geez, it's flying by. Today was Friday, end of the week. I'm exhausted. I think the entire class is exhausted, although I can't speak for anybody. Um, yeah, today was really exciting because we got to make beef bourguignon. I was saying that all day today. Beef bourguignon, which is made with a little bit of red wine, some brandy, onions, carrots, and then braised beef. It's just a delicious, very comforting dishes. I would say probably one of my favorite dishes of all time. Very close second to the braised short ribs. I love a braised short rib. I do have a video of braised short ribs, by the way. If you want to check it out, it's in my channel. But yeah, I love a good braised short ribs. But next in line for comfort food for a day off food, beef bourguignon. You just can't say enough. The red wine, the pearled onions, the mushrooms, the lardon. It's just a beautiful dish. And this is why we cook, because you love these flavors. So we also got to do some carpaccio and some tartare, which I'll show you. My first time making carpaccio and tartare. So it was quite an interesting and really fun experience. We got to sort of let loose a little bit creatively. So that was just so much fun. It's just so much fun. But yeah, today was obviously, as I'm talking about it now, a lot in terms of getting to make a lot of these different dishes and these different flavors. We started off putting the beef bourguignon in the oven to make sure that's braising as long as possible. We're cutting it in smaller little chunks, but definitely starting the class off, putting in the oven as soon as possible, because that is a braise, or that is a braise. So just getting that in and making sure that that's cooking while we're working on everything else. A braise is really nice because once you put it in the oven, you can really focus on other dishes that allow you to just sort of, if you have maybe a side dish you want to pair with a beef bourguignon, maybe it's mashed potatoes or what have you, you can do that while it's in the oven. So it's in the oven for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Until it gets nice and tender. You want to taste it maybe once in the middle to make sure you know where you are. You don't want it to be too pull-aparty. You want it to be still intact, but very tender. You want your fork to go right through it. So I think I have a picture of my beef bourguignon. This is it. The one thing I wish I did that I didn't do, so I took my pasta and kind of just mixed it around the sauce. I should have finished it in the dish itself. I sort of opted not to do that because this is how I normally make the pasta, but I think it comes out better. Lesson learned, it comes out way better, and it coats the pasta much better if you finish the pasta in the beef bourguignon itself. So par cook your pasta, finish it in like that sauce, that stewy sauce, and kind of toss it around. Oh my God, I saw a chef's dish. He did it both ways to just sort of make the point. But it was a beautiful dish where all the sauce is coating the pasta, which is what you want. It was just a beautiful dish, and I wish I had done that. But lesson learned, I'm always now going to finish my beef bourguignon, or really any pasta dish, in the sauce itself to allow it to coat and allow it to just take up all that sauce. So definitely lesson learned. He illustrated the Italian way of doing it, which is obviously just what I talked about, coating the pasta and finishing the pasta in the sauce. Whereas the French version is just taking the pasta, the beef bourguignon on top of the pasta, and serve it out. So I definitely like the Italian version better. I like the sauce coating the pasta. It's a personal preference. If you like it a different way, if you like it right on top, that's more power to you, right? But just saying, I wish I had the picture of it. to show you guys, but really, really makes a big difference. So finish your pasta in the sauce, kids. Finish your pasta in the sauce. I can't say that enough. So the next thing we worked on was our steak tartare. The steak tartare was from our tenderloin the other day. Remember, we fabricated it. We refrigerated it overnight, and then we cut it up in a small to medium dice-ish. So this is what it looks like. I actually used a darker plate to contrast the red of the meat. I really like the contrast of the black with the red to just make the meat pop. It's all about the dice of the steak in this case. So making it sort of the star of the show was really important. And to do that, really contrasting with the darker plate, I thought that was really, it came out really nicely in terms of the plating. The way I sort of seasoned the tartare was with a little bit of mustard seed. I used actually a yolk from the quail. So this is one quail, but I actually used another yolk and mixed it in there. A little bit of salt, a hint of soy sauce, and just sort of topped it with these capers that you see here. Also some Maldon flaky salt that you see. And then I have some pickled peppers that I just used to kind of garnish it around. I thought it was also a nice little flavor eating it with tartare. So yeah, I was so pleased with how it came out. Chef's feedback was that he needed more acidity, but he thought that if he ate it a little bit more, he probably would have gotten that acidity from the capers. That being said, the acidity I thought was there in terms of adding the mustard seeds, the pickled mustard seeds, which by the way are so delicious. Oh, I can't wait to use that again because it adds a different element to your dish. It's an ingredient that I haven't used before today. So really getting to know some of the ingredients, building my palate. This was such a really integral ingredient in my tartare. As well as, it should be said, the fat from the yolk, adding it to the tartare was I think a nice touch. It added that extra layer of fat that's missing here. But overall, yeah, just again, add it with some Maldon sea salt. And I'm really proud of this dish and how it was plated and how the meat or the red contrasted with the plate. So that is my steak tartare. The next thing we worked on was our Carpaccio. Our Carpaccio was browned yesterday, and then we froze it. You want to freeze your Carpaccio because you're slicing it in the deli slicer. So you want it to be a nice even slice. So the Carpaccio came out really beautiful, nice and frozen, but you slice it and they come out in these little thin slices of meat. If you guys ever go to Korean barbecue, this is like brisket, but raw. Obviously, the mustard seed appearance comes. I also made some homemade aioli, garlic aioli. I added some capers, and again the peppers makes an appearance in this dish. The one thing that chef asked for was that he actually wanted the mustard seeds spread throughout the dish and not just in the middle. I was sort of going for that sort of floury feel, and we tend to focus in on that center, and so I was just sort of plating based on that and taking advantage of the yellow and red contrast. Again, using the dark plate here. This dish also, to me, I'm super proud of this dish. Namely, in the small details of this dish, the mayo and the garlic aioli. I also added a little bit of garlic pepper, or was it garlic salt, in there to add a little bit more to the aioli. I mean, it was delicious. Also, I'm super, super proud of it. Obviously, I didn't finish all of it. That's a lot of meat to eat. I probably had like a third of this, I'm sorry, like maybe a quarter of it, because that's a lot of meat. This is about 2 to 4 ounces of meat. So definitely, really, really proud of this dish and how it was plated. And also just learning a lot. So again, the carpaccio has to be seared the day before to get that browning on the edge. That browning is important because you get that layer of flavor that when you're browning, you're caramelizing. It's the Maillard reaction when you're caramelizing that meat. So you want to make sure you're doing that. Adds just another depth of flavor. My mouth is watering just looking at this picture. All these dishes. Overall, I wish again I would have gotten back finishing my pasta in the sauce, but that's a lesson learned. I'm always gonna do that moving forward. But yeah, that is your update for day 34 of culinary school. Next week we've got a jam-packed week again, continuing on with our protein, and then following that, we're gonna transition over to fish, and I'm really, really excited about fish. But I'm just, again, trying to make the most of every single day and trying to learn as much as I can and trying to cook as much as I can and trying to fail as much as I can, because failure leads to me getting better and me becoming a better cook. So definitely, falling with my face forward and having a smile on my face and being happy about failing. Obviously nobody likes to fail, but I am here to grow and I'm here to learn, and I feel like every day gives me an opportunity to do that. So with that being said, I'm gonna stop rambling on. I will end this video. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, or actually next week, because today is Friday. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace, bye.